On this week's Go, we celebrate spring. Welcome to a special spring edition of Go. I'm your host, Vanessa Ybarra. Well, if you're like me, you've been looking forward to spring for a long time. How could you not? There's warmer temperatures, longer daylight hours, and also a chance to take up a new hobby such as gardening here at Squamish's Kane Gardens in downtown. Now, unfortunately, by this time of year, many of you may have a lot of aches and pains from many months spent up in Whistler skiing and snowboarding. Well, don't worry. On today's show, we're going to show you some yoga moves to help you transition into spring. Also, with many conferences coming to town this month and the coming months, we're going to tell you about one tech conference that you tweeters are really going to enjoy. So let's start today's show. With now springtime, chances are Cheakamus Center is going to be really busy. This place is all about teaching kids about outdoor learning, and as we found out, it's truly a one-of-a-kind experience.
I'm a strong believer that certain areas hold more energy or more certainly capacity for connecting, and this is one of those places.
That space, fittingly known as Paradise Valley, located just north of Squamish's city center, this hideaway includes over 400 acres of ecological reserve nestled along the Cheakamus River, a place one can expect to hear three of life's most vital sounds: water, birds,
Is there salmon in here? Well, that's a great question.
and learning.
We begin by walking along the dike, looking over the river, and it gives them a chance to really see the differences in those habitats. Part of what we're going to explore here is what it is that makes this place so special for the salmon.
Since 1969, the Cheakamus Center has served as an outdoor school for students, including this grade 3 North Vancouver class, to unplug from TVs, tablets, and any other electrical device and simply connect with the natural world. Today's lesson, salmon spawning.
We might really wonder how far they go.
The range of the programs for those students really depend on the season. They're here in September, October. We've got runs of pink salmon that are finishing off at that time, and following that, of course, the eagles arrive.
What I love about it is that it really is not just hands-on, but they really do participate in the functioning of the hatchery. So they'll be releasing the fry into the streams. In the winter time, they're actually catching the fish out of the streams.
Funded by the North Vancouver School District, Cheakamus Center is a truly integrated learning experience, with each of its grade 3 to 6 students eating, sleeping, and taking part in daily field studies on its Paradise Valley grounds as part of its 2 to 5 day programs.
Those are the baby fish. So they grow from an egg into a baby.
From learning about salmon cycles and surrounding forests, studying pond samples, caring for farm animals, and more.
It's fun, and they like it.
For the up to 100 Metro Vancouver students living at the center each week, each day brings an expanded curiosity and appreciation for the world around them.
It's like leather. Ho-ho, stay for an extra year in the streams. Learned a lot about how they catch and they count how many fish there are.
Let's go this guy here.
Handling frozen fish, the highlight activity for many of these kids.
It smelled really bad and it was really cold and it was really cool.
They come out with a much bigger connection to the actual places where we live. In a human-built environment, those connections are often hidden, but we rely on these things fundamentally.
That one's fun.
With many students returning 2 to 3 times throughout their elementary school years, each visit brings greater questions and learning for both sides.
That is a fantastic question. Why do they die after laying the egg? I'm actually learning from them regularly. And the questions are amazing. That's really what I'm trying to do. It's not about me just up here teaching and giving them all of this fact. It's more about getting them into the environment and building those questions for them. Back with their brothers and sisters.
With the center also offering Indigenous and sustainability programs for high school and adult students throughout the Sea to Sky corridor, when it comes to learning, just like its wide open landscape, the sky's the limit.
It's been recognized, certainly going back many, many years, that experiential education and outdoor environmental education in particular is just more engaging. We're so fortunate. We're on nearly 3 kilometers of riverfront on the Cheakamus River. It's a magical location. The scope with what we can be doing up here is really limitless.
Along with overnight field trips, you can also take part in conferences, workshops, and get this, you can also get married at Cheakamus Center, so pretty cool. To learn more about the group, visit their Twitter handle at Cheakamus Center, or better yet, swing by their open house that's happening this year on May 1st. Well, moving along here, if you're a gardener like me, a new gardener at least, chances are your back hurts quite a bit by the end of the day. Well, when it comes to skiing and snowboarding, the list of injuries can be a lot longer. So to help you out, we swung by YogaCara Studios in Whistler to learn some moves to help you smooth out those kinks.
Now that it's the spring season, some of you might be feeling some aches and pains from skiing or snowboarding. Today I'll be showing you 3 poses to practice that will help you with some of the common ailments. The first pose is waterfall pose, and this is really great for anyone, even if you have an injury. It's to help relax your nervous system and to find a calm state of being after skiing or snowboarding. The first pose is waterfall. We practice this pose with something underneath our hips, so make sure that you have a pillow at home. You can slide this underneath your hips, and with your inhale, slowly lift your feet towards the sky. Guide your feet and knees together, flex your toes, and just allow your lower body to relax. Your palms can relax facing up beside your body or on your belly. Then let your eyelids close. The second pose we'll practice is a bridge pose. And this is really great to support the muscles of your thighs and to support your knee joint. Bend your knees and guide your heels really close to your sit bones. Place your palms flat beside your hips. With your inhale, slowly lift your low back, mid back, shifting onto your upper back. Let your shoulders and your head get heavy. And you're welcome to shuffle your shoulders beneath you and interlace your fingers if it serves you here. And take a few deep breaths into your belly. Then separate your fingers, and as you exhale, slowly roll down your spine, 1 vertebra at a time. The third pose we'll practice is called thread the needle, and this is a really great hip opener, really fantastic after a long day of skiing or snowboarding. With your knees bent, let's guide one knee closer in towards our chest and flex our foot really strong. We'll cross our ankle just above our knee, then interlace our fingers around the back of our thigh. Let your knee press out to the side. This is a really great stretch for your hips. Let your shoulders and the back of your head relax. Now with all 3 of these poses, it's really important to remember, first, to breathe. And most of breathing in yoga is done in and out through your nose. And for these poses, I would recommend to focus on your breathing. The second point is to practice without judgment. So being patient, if there's any poses that you can't quite get right away, that's okay. That's part of your yoga practice. And the third is to practice without pain. So if you feel any pain or sharpness in any poses, know that you can always ease out. And if you follow these tips, you should be all ready for the end of ski and snowboard season. Namaste.
Emily just wrapped up her 12-part yoga series here on Shaw TV, so to view all of them in their entirety, just swing by our website. The link is on the bottom of the screen. Well, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll introduce you to 2 Whistler Cup athletes caught between a love of 2 sports. Stick around. Also after the break,
we've traveled all over British Columbia and accumulated 175,000 kilometers in 8 years.
meet one ski racing dad going the extra mile. Welcome to a spring edition of Go, coming to you this week from downtown Squamish. While it may be a gorgeous day down here today, as you can see, winter is still in full display along the sea to sky. In fact, in Whistler, they had so much snow this year, they had a record-breaking 1.14 million visitors, get this, in their first 2 months alone. Pretty amazing. Well, speaking of Whistler, hundreds of young ski racers are gearing up once again for the 24th annual Whistler Cup that's happening the first week of April. And as always, Shaw TV is proud to be producing a 30-minute special. Will also be airing in April, so stay tuned to that. Now, as part of the special, we thought today we'd share with you 2 stories we're going to include in that special programming, starting with the first one on 15-year-old Ella. You remember those students in school, or athletes I should say, that were good at every sport? Well, that's this girl. Along with ski racing, she's good at gymnastics and trampolining. And as we found this next story, she isn't the only one. When she's not doing this, she's doing this.
I just love feeling weightless. It's so much fun to be in the air doing skills that you know you're gonna land.
If 14-year-old Gigi sounds confident, it's 'cause she is.
One of my brightest accomplishments was coming first place at Westerns, which is one of the biggest tramp events in Canada.
For 4 years, the Whistler U16 ski racer has been splitting her time between racing and trampolining here at the Whistler Athlete Center. Sure, the two Olympic sports may look like polar opposites, but they're also more alike than you think.
In skiing, you have to have a presence of airtime in all your surroundings, and that's the same with tramp. And in competitions, you both need to have a sense of calm your nerves so then you can really perform in both.
That perfect pairing helped Gigi earn a 6th place finish in GS, the 2015 Whistler Cup. And turns out she isn't the only athlete juggling two sports. 2015 Western Canada Cup champ Jet Williams is also gearing up to compete at this year's Whistler Cup for the first time.
I'm excited. My goal is top 50-ish.
Quite a few of them are also ski racers, and if they're not racing, then they're on the mountain in their free time. Any dual sport is good for conditioning because it works different parts of the body. So when you take off, lift and hold your stomach super tight.
It's helped my strength and balance.
Slow it down, lift up.
Trampoline's a leg sport, same with skiing, so it helps my legs get stronger too. I just love being in the air and twisting and flipping.
Gigi and Jet are among the majority of the Whistler Mountain Ski Club's 160 racers who compete in other sports, football, basketball, and mountain biking among the most popular. Juggling competitions and non-stop practices may be tough, but also gives athletes a leg up on the competition.
Mountain biking, you're able to look at the line that you're running with the bike, and that's completely related to ski racing. Rugby, soccer, those are awesome sports because you increase your aerobic capacity. The kids that are taking part in other sports are for sure going to be the champions that we see later on.
Once the cup is over, these two's attention is going straight back to trampolining and making the Canadian national team. So, do they ever get tired?
Yeah. Yes.
Like most Olympic hopefuls, they'll rest when they get to the top. As for which sport that's in, we'll let fate decide that one. Trampolining became an official Olympic sport in the year 2000, and to this day, Rosie McClellan remains the world reigning champion. As for me, well, I've been known to do the odd handspring here and there, but yeah, you probably don't want to see that, so why don't we just move along to our second Whistler Cup story. In any competitive sport, the parents are the true champions. In between driving their kids to practices and competitions, there really isn't much time for yourself. But as we find out from one ski racing dad, the sacrifice is well worth it.
This car, we refer to it as the family mule. We've traveled all over British Columbia with the vehicle and accumulated 175,000 kilometers in, about 8 years.
Behind every Whistler Cup athlete, there's a dedicated parent or mentor. Case in point, Eric Koenigsman.
We're heading to Collingwood to the gym with Peter to join his brother Mark. We drive to the gym about 4 to 5 times per week. So what are you going to be doing at the gym today, Peter?
So I'll probably start off with some squats.
For over 10 years, this West Vancouver dad has spent every winter season driving 16-year-old son Peter to ski racing competitions, or in today's case, dropping him off to his regular gym workout. However, unlike other ski parents, this dad is on double duty. 15-year-old son Mark is also a U14 ski racer, placing 9th in slalom at the 2015 Whistler Cup, with Peter also climbing the ranks, the FIS racer nabbing 1st in Super G at the 2014 Mount Purdon Provincials. It's a talent that this dad can't exactly take credit for.
I never raced personally. I've skied all my life. Alexandra was the one who actually signed the boys up initially.
Eric's wife enrolled the boys in the Nancy Green Ski League when they were just 5 and 6 years old. A few years later, they started competing.
She really enjoyed seeing the boys develop their skills. She always said it was like ballet on the hill for her. Always behind the scenes, That was more her style. So, you know, whether it was chaperoning on away races, making food for kids when they had races.
I remember my first race at Seymour. I was going down and I heard my mom and dad cheering on the sidelines. I got a little distracted, so I stopped racing and went over to say hi. And I lost the race, but it was kind of a funny moment. They're always cheering.
Then in 2014, Alexandra passed away from cancer. For this devoted dad, there was only one thing to do.
I've been at it for almost 15 years, so I know the drill. We're headed up to Cyprus, where we're going to be doing a couple hours of training.
True to his word, the tireless father of two continued to drive his sons up to their regular practices here at Cypress Mountain. Peter today gearing up for his regular slalom run.
A lot of hours on the hill, 20 to 25 a week. It's really not about the racing so much as it is about learning how to manage your time, being disciplined with schoolwork, and I don't think it's an accident that my sons are doing extremely well at school.
Today, the Cypress Ski Club has over 80 members, with an average ski season costing over $20,000, not to mention countless driving hours from parents. It's a sport that isn't without its warnings. However, for program director Raul, whose 3 kids have also gone through the ski club, the sacrifice is well worth it.
It's an incredible educational tool. Alpine skiing is a very difficult sport, you know, because all conditions are changing all the time. You never have the same snow, the same slope, the same setting. You have to develop a very strong personality. It's amazing how mature they become really quick.
As I was younger, I didn't really understand all the resources and effort that went into it. But now as I'm having more responsibilities and doing more things myself, I realized how long and how much effort he's had to put into it, and yeah, I'll definitely remember that.
Hold on!
For Eric, there's no denying the last few years have been tough and jam-packed. But like so many other passionate parents, there's nowhere else this ski lover would rather be.
Okay, are you all done?
I'm done.
Let's get out of here. Go and get your boots off. The club has been like a family to us. I enjoy the whole scene. I like the people, the community. It's just the natural way for us to be. I've already actually gone so far as to buy Peter his first car, because the minute he gets his license, he'll be driving everywhere.
This year's Whistler Cup takes place March 31st until April 3rd. And again, be sure to watch Shaw's special 30-minute coverage that we're producing. It's going to premiere on April 8th. Very exciting. Well, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to take you inside one of BC's biggest internet marketing conferences. Stay with us.
Also after the break,
I have a great love for the province of British Columbia. A lot of the work was collected, obviously, in Canada.
we get a special look inside Whistler's newly opened Michael Audain Museum.
Welcome back to our special spring edition of Go. I'm your host, Vanessa Ybarra. Now, I gotta say, when it comes to taking in the beautiful weather we now have, nothing beats casually browsing here in Squamish's downtown core. Along with shopping, though, another great thing the downtown is known for is movie making. Get this, last year they made over 30 productions in 1 year alone, and also just a few weeks ago or so, the entire downtown was closed for a few hours to make the latest installment of Murder, She Bakes, which I just happened to work on for a few days, so it was a pretty cool experience. If you want to see that whole experience, swing by our Twitter site. We've got a couple of pictures posted there as well. Okay, well, let's continue on today's show. The Canadian Internet Marketing Conference is set to return to Squamish once again the second week of April. So, what's this techie event all about? Well, let's look back at last year's coverage.
Hundreds of social media minds recently gathered at Quest University for the first annual Canadian Internet Marketing Conference, some coming from as far as Eastern Canada and Brazil to hear tech experts speak on all things social media.
I felt a sense of agency that I could actually help kind of usher in or shape the future.
It's kind of my first marketing conference, so it's really interesting to come in and see so many different trains of thought.
We're learning lots of new things and being surrounded by a little bit younger generation than we're used to. That's what I've loved so far today.
I'm really excited that
They're pushing the envelope with sort of what's coming up in the future and not just what we've been talking about for the last 5 years.
Over 40 world-class speakers took to the stage for the two-day event, from merging PR with social media.
A good PR strategy leads to great SEO.
The future of print.
It's less about thinking the death of print, is print going to survive, but rather who it is you're trying to reach.
To turning blogging into a profession.
I think the right question to start with is, how do I build up my brand?
It was an information expo for these entrepreneurs, marketers, and of course media personalities looking to stay ahead in today's digital age, one that's becoming more competitive by the minute.
A lot of small, medium-sized businesses understand that they need to adapt to the way that the consumers are searching for products and services. And it's shifting so quickly in terms of the technology. We wanted to bring together a platform for business owners, marketing departments to get together and just get right up to speed.
Creating a unique identity, one of the main themes throughout the weekend.
With most of us now owning one of these, most of today's entrepreneurs and media are expected to keep up a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram profile, all the while, of course, actually running a business on the side. With 500 million Twitter users worldwide, over 1 billion Facebook users, we're now more plugged in than ever before. And so the question remains.
I think having your own voice and setting aside your own passion, your own point of view, your own photos, your own video, and having your own brand.
Basically being the purple cow in a sea of black and white. You figure out your unique brand, your unique niche, and then you just market like crazy on as many different platforms as possible.
Definitely to be yourself. You want to have your personality shine through and have that authentic vibe online so people know who they're following.
Second question, we were saying there's always, for everything you should do, there's probably 10 things you shouldn't do online today. What are the definite no-nos?
I think one of the big no-nos is if it's all about self-promotion, because I think social media, blogging is all about the community and also adding value to your readers, your listeners, your viewers.
I think it's knowing my audience. So I know that I should never write about bottled water. That's a big topic my readers do not like.
Most of my photos do involve wine, do involve nights out with the girls, also the family photos as well, because it is a family blog, but nothing crazy. Obviously, you don't want to post pictures that you're going to regret the next day.
With Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Flickr, and Tumblr among the sites adding new features and content almost every month, keeping up and sending out the latest information can be overwhelming for even the most seasoned techie. For these pros, it's all about keeping it simple.
I use Hootsuite for scheduling tweets. There's other services you can use to schedule your tweets ahead of time. And I think when you have that mindset of, I want to sit down and do some writing, write 5 posts, not just 1.
With my Instagram app, I find that's really effective because with Instagram, you can actually post once and it spreads to all these social media. So on Facebook, Twitter, even Flickr, Tumblr, etc.
I tend to tweet or Facebook at least 3 times a day, and I know, so breakfast before the kids get up, around lunchtime, and in the evening as well. You don't even think about it, it becomes second nature.
That's second nature, one CIMC organizers and speakers hope to pass along to today's ever-expanding online community, creating new tools, audiences, and most importantly, mindsets every tweet of the way.
This year's Canadian Internet Marketing Conference takes place April 14th and 15th. So to learn more about the event or pick up some tickets for yourself or friends, just swing by digitalbuzz.ca. Okay, well now the moment likely a lot of you art lovers have been waiting for. The long-awaited Michael Audain Art Museum recently opened up in Whistler, and let me tell you, it didn't disappoint. From its West Coast architecture and bold designs, the museum truly is a sight to behold. Let's check it out.
After 3 years of intense planning and construction, Whistler's most prestigious building is now open.
It's emotional.
It's wonderful to see. I'm delighted with the building.
The now completed Audain Art Museum sits quietly nestled in the middle of Whistler Village. Behind these walls houses almost all of BC developer and philanthropist Michael Audain and wife Yoshiko's art collection.
We decided that we can't take the collection that we accumulated over 40 years with us, so we decided that we'd like to make it available for the people of British Columbia.
The Audain Art Museum, the only one in Canada whose entire collection is from one province.
I have a great love for the province of British Columbia. My family's lived here for a great many generations, and also BC has been very good to me. A lot of the work was collected obviously in Canada.
The building's architects and builders were also mindful about keeping with the BC theme, clearing only one tree to build it. Its glass-paneled entrance and hemlock wood structure was also used to evoke a natural transition and feel for visitors from the outside in.
We wanted a serene building that would sit quietly within the trees and would be a supportive background for the art. It's a very dark color which is designed to replicate the shadow of the natural forest.
The most important thing is that it works very well for the art. It doesn't dominate the art and it doesn't dominate the environment. It fits modestly.
Inside, the 56,000 square foot museum houses over 180 of the Audain's most proud collections.
It's the history of the art of British Columbia from pre-European contact up to contemporary times.
Visitors are first greeted with a vibrant collection of old First Nations masks and wall displays. Of course, no showcase would be complete without an homage to one of BC and Canada's most renowned artists.
When you think about art, or people who care about art of BC, they automatically think about Emily Carr. Her gallery space is positioned adjacent to the historical First Nations because she was so profoundly moved and inspired by historical First Nations artwork.
For Michael, it was important to also showcase a couple's mid-century and modern pieces.
Michael he's a very interesting man.
I've spent 40 years collecting the art of our province.
He has a degree in social work. He was a freedom rider in the 60s in the States, in the South. So he has his social conscience.
Our visitors will enjoy a lot of the pieces, but some pieces, some artworks may disturb them, some may infuriate them, and if that's the case, that's great because the artist will be communicating to them.
It's truly blown me away. They've truly captured BC in these forms that you get to see, and you get to stand here and have a quiet moment with them. It's astonishing, yeah.
Finally, Audain's Mexican Modernist collection is the first of many the museum hopes to display, both from himself and other local artists and collectors here inside its temporary gallery space. Whatever the collections, it's clear from these pieces and this building that art has taken on a whole new level in Whistler.
I love community engagement. That's going to be the next exciting part. Looking at interesting ways to get all the various publics in.
It's really an opportunity to get a picture of our society out here on the western coast of Canada. Who we are, our values. I think our visitors are going to enjoy it.
Along with being an art collector, turns out Michael Audain was also quite the boxer back in the day. He fought in over 30 matches, believe it or not, so pretty cool and random. Well, that wraps up our show today, coming to you from downtown Squamish. Thank you so much for joining us, and also once again, tune in to our special 30-minute coverage we're doing of the Whistler Cup. The show is going to premiere on April 8th, and also stay tuned to our show after that, where we pay a special visit to this place behind us, West Coast Chocolate Shoko, to find out what delicious treats they're baking. Speaking of delicious treats, I think we will get one, so we'll see you next time.